Just over a day away from the championship being determined in the Sprint Cup Series, and they have 2 more hours that they will be able to work on these cars to get ready for that race, the final race of the 2016 season. We get ready for the second practice for Sprint Cup Series. Homestead Miami Speedway, the championship 4 drivers, all with a shot at the title. Kyle Busch looking to defend. Carl Edwards, Joey Logano looking for their first championship, and Jimmy Johnson trying to make it 7. There's their starting positions: 9th, 10th, 13th, and 14th. The 2 drivers will start in row 5. 2 of the championship 4 will start in row 7. And what are the nerves like today? The day before the championship, these drivers, they go out. Yeah, you saw right there the 22, Joey Logano, you saw his legs moving already as he's at the front of the line getting ready to go out onto the track. But is it anticipation? Is it a nervous energy?
I think it's just, for all but Kyle Busch. The other 3 cars pretty much focused on qualifying trim yesterday. So this is the first time they're really going on the racetrack in race trim. And I think it's just the nervousness that their car is going to drive the way they want it to drive. Is it going to do the things they want it to do? And then I love the fact that we've had 3 of them all right there together when practice starts. So they're all going to push hard. They're all going to try to make a statement right here, as you do every week. Every week you judge yourself immediately when the racetrack opens, and 3 of the 4 are going to be right there together as soon as the green flag drops.
And it really comes down to the agenda as well. When you go out there, if your car feels good, how much are you willing to risk it in practice? We've seen really all weekend long in race trim that the preferred line here in Miami is right up next to the wall. So we saw a lot of Xfinity cars that ran multiple laps get into the wall and have some damage. So how much risk are these championship 4 willing to take in practice? Because you're going to get up there and run at some point. So, you have to just decide, are you going to do it in practice or wait till the race?
But isn't this a time that you can force the issue? Where, Jimmy Johnson go up and run the 22 down, and right off the bat, all right, 22, you're not good enough. You got to go to work. This opening start right here could set the stage for the rest of the practice and how hard you got to work to get your car to do what it needs to do.
They've spaced out evenly. Get onto the track. Joey Logano went out first. Jimmy Johnson out second, and Carl Edwards third.
But the crew chiefs are on top of the truck right now. Not only are they watching their car, but the monitor. And they're going to scrutinize every lap right here, because this is one of the only times that you know the situation. What I mean is, you don't know when other people put tires on, and everyone has a different agenda, as I mentioned. But right here, the start of practice, all 3 contenders, all on the same tires, all on the same racetrack. This is the best time to compare lap times and really see where you stack up.
And then you've got Kyle Busch, who's still not even in the car. Kelly Stapps, what's he doing?
Well, I caught up with his crew chief, Adam Stevens, just a few moments ago, who told me they were going to do just this, kind of sit and wait it out for a while. Remember, this was the one Chase team that spent the majority of practice yesterday in race trim, working on race trim. They just feel like these track conditions right now are not going to be reflective of what they'll have to race in tomorrow afternoon. Adam said these cars that go out first are just going to be really fast. They've got their tires on from qualifying yesterday, so they have 3 heat cycles on them. He said they're going to wait it out, and they're hoping to transfer a set of sticker tires to use in the race tomorrow in case they need them for a late race restart, Mike.
Well, conversely, Kelly, Joey Logano was the first car on the racetrack. Spent a lot of time yesterday in qualifying trips, so this practice takes on additional importance for him. He was asked earlier this week what the agenda would be for this particular practice session, and he was pretty open about it. He said, look, we need to learn how to run the top and the bottom of this racetrack, so expect him to work multiple grooves throughout the course of this session, trying to figure out where his car operates the best. And also, as he pointed out, rolling off 13th in the race, he's going to need to pass some cars to get to the front. So this car is going to need to be able to perform all over the racetrack, multiple grooves. They're going to be searching for that throughout the course of this practice, guys.
Yeah, already you see Logano. He's the first lap on the racetrack. He was on the white line all the way down the bottom of the corner. But now, in only 3 laps, he's moved up the racetrack, and also in 3 laps, his fast lap was a 31.27, and now he's running 31.60. So in that 3 laps, he lost 0.4 of a second.
Well, that's why Kyle Busch, you heard Kelly report, they're going to try to transfer a set of tires. So basically how it works is NASCAR sets the limit of tires that a team can have for the race. From Goodyear, you're only allowed to have a certain number of stick of tires, but you have the option, if you do not use a set of practice tires, to transfer that. That will increase your allotment by 1 set. Kyle Busch, they realize how important these tires are going to be tomorrow in this run for the championship, so they're going to try to save us that for practice.
48 of Jimmy Johnson on track, and right now at the top of the speed chart, already setting the tone for a 7th championship. Jimmy Johnson trying to join Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty as the only drivers to ever win 7 championships in the Sprint Cup Series.
And to win this championship, he's going to have to attack this racetrack. And this is a very unique racetrack to ride along with Jimmy Johnson. We talked about running that high line already on lap 5 of this run. He's high. He's not as high as they're going to be. He's still as far width away from the wall. As the run progresses, they'll continue to get closer to the wall. But the unique part about this racetrack is on this corner issue right here. Listen to when he gets off the throttle. He's already off the throttle, but he's already back in it right now. So he's not even in the middle of the corner yet, and he's already re-accelerating. Very unique racetrack. The way this racetrack gains banking when you climb the racetrack, how it gains banking when you get into the corner is really unique, very different than every other kind of racetrack, and you can hear it in that throttle, how soon he gets back to the throttle.
Well, Jeff, you mentioned how important tire life is and how you work on tires and try to get them to hold on and have more speed than the car in front of you. Well, the 19 of Carl Edwards is currently doing that. We were on board with Jimmy Johnson. Well, right out behind Jimmy Johnson is the 19 of Carl Edwards. You talk about, can you set the tone for the weekend or race trim? Carl's really doing this while he's below Jimmy Johnson on fast lap by almost 0.3 of a second. Really, from about lap 3 on, he has been much faster than Jimmy. 2 or 3 tenths a lap. He's closed in about 20 car lengths. Now there's only about 10 car lengths between them. And I think that's got to help Carl, right? So right now he's half practicing, but half must have his goal focus of catching the 48.
It's always a competition. I know that they're not going to pay any points. I know the championship isn't going to be won right now or lost. But it's always a competition. You always want to be the fastest car. You always want to be able to push the tempo. And right now, the 48 car, Chad Knaus is watching this. Jimmy Johnson's looking in the mirror. Right now, they're saying, hey, we're not as good as we need to be. You're going to see Jimmy Johnson. He's working on getting on pit road right here. Very difficult pit road to get onto. Very big change of banking. He's on pit road working on his race car because they're not as good as they need to be right now.
And let me tell you, Rick, if I was checking out, I would call Jimmy Johnson in purely for the mind game of I'm not going to let you pass me on the race. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction that you could drive by me. We know we have to be better, but let's not keep running. Let's come on in and work on it.
And Carl Edwards, familiar with the sight of chasing after someone for a championship in 2011. Matter of fact, on Monday, we were able to do the NASCAR throwback to the 2011 championship where Carl Edwards actually tied Tony Stewart in the points, and it went to the tiebreaker of wins where Carl Edwards finished second in that championship. When he got out of the car, he said, that's the toughest thing we've ever had to do as a team, and we came as close as you could possibly come without winning a championship. Now I know how to win one of these.
And look at what Carl Edwards has done now. Now that Jimmy Johnson has left the racetrack, he's moved around. In turns 1 and 2, he went all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Now he's running the top of the racetrack. There's no doubt in my mind that up here is faster. But you also are going to have to pass. And if the high line is where most people are going to go, you better find a way to get by people. And so right now, Carl Edwards, although probably hurts his lap time, he's changed where he's running. See all the wheel input? Although that doesn't look good and it's not good, he's understanding what they need to do to make their car better when he changes lanes. Because you're going to have to go wherever they're not. And doing that in practice is the only way to learn.
He's not going to use the normal way to get to pit road. He'll take the access road to get back to pit road and back to the attention of the crew. So 3 of the 4 championship contenders have been out on the racetrack. Kyle Busch still waiting in the garage to come on to the 1.5 miles.